alive.
I used the introduction, no me.
These are new ones. Evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. Now, you'll be glad the good news. I'm not going to be talking much tonight. Well, I'm not going to be talking at all, actually, because it's Laura's show. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. Laura will do that. I'm just going to be sitting here clicking the buttons, and that's about it, really. So, there's wee Eileen in. Hi, Eileen, doll.
Yeah.
So you'll not be hearing very much from me, but it's probably a blessing since you've heard from me the last 2 nights or something like that. So I'm going to hand it out to Laura, and she can do her thing.
Oh, thanks, Scott.
She's there.
I'm here. I don't know if it's much of a blessing you be quiet and me talking because, well...
We just go on, mate.
I just taught the hind legs off a donkey, as you know. Well, the night is a bit different, guys, and I'm not going to apologise for that because I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And Scott and Sarah graciously says that I could do this. Now, this mystery has been a bit of an obsessive thing for me for months, in fact, years. I've dug right into it, I've researched it, and I've read umpteen books and watched a lot of podcasts on it. I think at the beginning I put up what it was, but for the last few weeks I didn't. Now there's a reason for that. It's because I didn't want people to look it up and follow the story that is this story. I wanted you to hear the facts that I saw them, the way that I seen them, and what conclusion or the conclusions that I came to. So the actual mystery tonight is called The Disappearance of Maura Murray. Now, Maura Murray was actually born on the 4th of May 1982, and she actually disappeared on February the 9th of 2004. That makes her only 21 years old. Now, growing up, she had her parents, which were Fred and Laura Murray, and she had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. She came from a working class town. She was a high school honour student, and she particularly excelled in athletics, especially field and track. Got a wee picture of her. There she is there. Beautiful lassie, young, athletic, loved athletics, excelled in them. Now, after graduation, she actually attended West Point Military Academy, and where she actually studied chemical engineering for 3 semesters before transferring to the University of Massachusetts, where she was going to pursue a nursing degree. It's important to mention at this point that there was trouble at West Point, and this is why she possibly, now I'm saying possibly, transferred to the University of Massachusetts. She actually was caught stealing at West Point. Now, West Point's a military academy, and this was seen as a honour violation code. So rather than actually get into trouble, they offered her the chance to transfer to another university, and she picked the University of Massachusetts, and she went to study for a degree in nursing, which was the same as what her mum did. Now we'll move on to what happened that particular day on the 9th of February. Now, after midnight on the 9th of February, Maura actually used her PC to search, I keep getting that wrong, I cannot get my tongue around it, MapQuest, for directions to the Berkshires and Billingtons in Vermont. Now, the first reported contact Maura had with MD was on the 9th of February, it was at 1 o'clock, where she actually emailed her boyfriend. Her boyfriend, it's at the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember his name. I'll get back to that. She emailed her boyfriend and said, "I love you, and I promise to call you today. Love you, Maura." She also made a second call inquiring about a condo in the same Bartlett, New Hampshire, Now, this is where her family often rented condos. And so it was familiar to her. The place was familiar to her. And so she was looking up renting a condo to her, for her. The telephone records also indicate that this call only lasted a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes at the most. The condo owner didn't rent a condo to Maura, and that was the end of that conversation. Now, at 1:15, around roughly about 13 minutes past 1, Maura also phoned a fellow uni student. Now, we don't know why she did that, but we only know that the call lasted a few minutes, so we don't actually know if this was relevant at all, right? So fast forward to that particular day. That's it, sorry, Bill. Bill was her boyfriend, sorry guys. Now fast forward to about 25 past 1 that particular day. Maura emails her professors at university stating that there was a death in the family and that she was leaving town for a few days, but she would contact them on her return. Now, we know this is lies. We know this isn't true because the family stated that there was no death in the family. So we're not quite sure why Maura sent that email at all. Now, at 5 past 2, she actually makes another call to a recorded messenger, and it was about booking a hotel in Vermont. At 2:15, she phones her boyfriend back and she leaves a message. Then, fast forward, we know that Maura packs clothing, her toiletries, her college textbooks, her birth control pills, and puts them in the car. Now, we know this because when her room was searched later, campus police officers found these items to be missing. They also found that Maura's stuff from her dorm at university were packed in boxes. The art was also removed from the walls at time. But why? Why was all this done? Why was her stuff in boxes? Why was her artwork removed? She had emailed her professors previously saying that there would be a death in the family, and she clearly had intent to return. So we'll fast forward, and when the police were in the university dorm searching it, they also found an email on top of one of these boxes. Now, the email doesn't indicate much, I'll be honest, but the email does indicate that there was an altercation, shall we say, an argument with her boyfriend, basically indicating that there was trouble in the relationship. So we do know that around 3:00 that particular day, Maura drove off campus in her black 1996 Saturn sedan, because we do know for a fact that classes that day at the university were cancelled due to a snowstorm. Now at 3:40, Maura's caught on CCTV camera withdrawing $280. She was alone at this point. She then leaves the bank area and proceeds to go to a liquor store, an alcoholic store, and she buys a box of wine, red wine, she buys a bottle of vodka, and she buys Bailey's Irish cream. At 4:37, that she used her phone the last time that we know of, and she checked her email. Now, to date, as far as I know, her phone was not used again. Now, that's interesting, Eileen. I'll stop there. That's a very, very good, interesting point there, Eileen, which I will get to. But, yeah, that's... You're paying attention. I like that. Right, so we do know that she checked her voicemail at 4:37. We do know that after that, there's been no other use of her phone. She didn't inform MD of her destination, and there's no evidence at all that she'd chosen one particular destination. Okay, so sometime after 7 o'clock that night, a New Hampshire resident heard a loud thud outside their house. And through the window of her house, she could see a car up against a snowbank. This route is actually called Route 112, and it's actually known as Amasonic Road. Now, I could pronounce that wrong because it is quite a difficult one to pronounce. I mean, Scott, if you want to try and pronounce that, good luck to you.
I'm
Yeah, exactly. That's
I can't even speak English. You expect me to say that? Come on, behave. I'm on the suck. I'm on the suck.
Road, right? So this particular road. Now, the car was pointed west on the eastbound part of the side of the road. Okay? The local woman up here, right? So that's like, you'll see what I mean. It, basically adjacent to the 20-mile-an-hour sign, okay, guys? The local woman reported the car accident at the sharp corner, which you can see, directly adjacent to her home. She telephones Grafton County Sheriff's Department at approximately 7:27 to report the accident. Now, according to the 911 log, the woman claimed to have seen a man smoking a cigarette inside the car. However, she later stated that she had not seen a man, nor a person smoking a cigarette. Now, why would she state that in the first place? But rather had been what appeared to be a red light. Now, she thinks she confused the cigarette to a red light, possibly emanating off her mobile phone. Now, why would you specify that there was a man there? You can understand the confusion between possibly a cigarette and a red light emanating off your phone. But where does a man come in? Why say there was a man there in the first place and then retract your statement and said, actually, I'm not sure there was. Anyway, we'll get there. So a passing bus driver who goes by the name of Butch Atwood actually passed by the scene. He actually stopped. He actually spoke to Maura. He asked if she was okay. And she replied, yes. Now, at this point, she didn't seem shaken up. She had no blood on her. She didn't seem distressed in any way. So, when she said she was okay, Butch said, do you want me to phone the police? Do you want me to phone AAA? She says, no, I've already phoned AAA. Now, we know that's a lie as well, because there is actually no cell service in that area. So there's no possible way whatsoever that she could have phoned AAA. Anyway, Butch continues home and he calls the police. Now, this is roughly about, say, 7:43, 7:45. Now, while in the house, Butch is actually unable to see Maura's car while he made the call. But what he did see was a few cars passing by the scene before the police arrived. Another resident driving home from work claims she passed the scene around 7:37 and saw a police SUV parked face to face with Maura's car. Now, this woman actually pulls over briefly. She didn't see anybody inside or outside the car and decides to continue home. This witness statement contradicts the official police log in Times because Butch actually calls at 7:43. Apparently, he calls the police at 7:43. What they say says she was on the scene at 7:37. Now, what they say says she left her office at approximately 7:15 that evening. Now, from where she works to her home, it's a 40-mile drive. It's got very, very limited service. The crash scene was a quarter of the mile from her destination to home. So we'll say about a 12-minute drive.
Quarter of a mile.
Aye, quarter of a mile.
Was.
She left the office at 7:15 and it's a 40-minute drive. 15. So you're talking minutes. A couple of minutes anyway, okay? Now, what she says she saw at the crash scene was a police SUV nose to nose with Maura's car. She pulled over because there was nobody about. She thought, oh, I'm not going to be much help. And so she continues on her way home. 14 minutes later, what they say, gets call service and calls her husband at 7:52. Now, taking into consideration the fact that what they say did stop for 1 or 2 minutes at the scene, this would mean that what they say was at the crash scene 9 whole minutes before the police were. A whole 9 minutes. So who was driving the SUV that night? If it wasn't the sheriff, i.e. Cecil Smith. Now, Chief Williams comes into this now because he's known to drive the SUV. Could he have been drinking? Could he have caused this accident? Could he have stumbled upon this accident accidentally? Did he engage in foul play? Maybe there is. No speculation here. And it is what they say, simply has not all the information that's known to the police and never spoke about it. We don't know. Now, we're going to actually get to the crash scene in the car now. That's all right. Now, inside and outside the car, the police found red stains that looked like red wine. Inside the car, there was an empty beer bottle and a damaged box of wine. In addition, inside the car, there was Maura's AAA card. There was blank accident report forms. There were compact discs, makeup, jewellery, driving directions to Burlington, Vermont, Maura's favourite stuffed teddy, and a book about mountain climbing in the White Mountains. However, what was missing was Maura's debit card, a credit card, and a phone card, none of which have actually ever been found to this day. Now, police traced the car to Maura initially and treated her as a missing person on the belief that she may have wanted to volunteer to disappear by herself. It happens. Now, this speculation was based solely on her travel preparations, which she said nothing to friends, to family, to uni friends, to her boyfriend, nothing. There was obviously no evidence of foul play either. The police searched the immediate area. They couldn't see anything. They brought in cadaver dogs and they picked up nothing. They did pick up Maura's scent for a short time, but it seemed to just stop dead. It was as if she'd been picked up by someone or she'd wandered into the woods. But surely if she'd wandered into the woods, you can put up the next one, surely if she'd wandered into the woods, would the dogs not have picked up the scent from that?
There's only three of them.
What?
There's only 3 of them.
Oh, that's fine. This has been this is my fault. However, the scent just seems to stop dead in the middle of the road. That doesn't go into forest or anything. Now, the State Patrolled Highway, the State Patrolled Highway and the local police were on the scene. But local police's jurisdiction actually ends 100 yards up the street. So there was no search at all done beyond those 100 yards by local police. Now, a state cop can search beyond that 100 yards. And there was a state cop on scene that night, and his name was actually John Monaghan. But local police at that time, on that particular night, didn't know. Oh, interesting, Eileen, interesting. Now, we'll talk about John Monaghan. John Monaghan didn't search beyond his jurisdiction. He had the power to do it, but he chose not to do it at all. He didn't inform his supervisors that he was on scene. He didn't file a report saying that he was on scene. He didn't file a report stating what he saw. So to me, this is a bit strange. However, could he, or what he did see, could this collaborate with what witnesses saw? We don't know. Or was it just negligence on his part? Is he covering up his own actions? Is he covering up somebody else's action? Did he actually see what happened? We don't know. Now, police also say they did follow-up investigations. But actually, no one was ever interviewed. Maura's family, her boyfriend, even her best friend from university at the time, none of these people were ever interviewed. They weren't questioned. Nothing. Why weren't they? These people were the closest people to Maura. They knew her life. They knew her mental state. They knew what was happening in her life. But not one person was interviewed. Now, no one in this case has been ruled out except Butch Atwood. Now, Butch Atwood, if you remember rightly from the beginning, was the bus driver who stopped and spoke to her. But Butch Atwood also retracted his story or his version of what happened many, many times, multiple times. Why? Was he confused by what he saw? Was he just genuinely an unreliable witness, didn't have a clue what he saw? Did he see anything in fact? Did he actually speak to Maura? We don't know. We just don't know. So does that make him an unreliable witness? Was he confused? Was he hiding something? Was he covering up for someone? Was he covering up for the police? Was he covering up for a friend? Again, we'll never know. Because Butch Atwood actually died in 2009. Now, that's the basics to this story, guys, okay? You can delve much deeper into this, okay? And you will find loads and loads of twists and stuff, right? I'm going to be honest here. There's so many podcasts, there's so many books that's been written about it, that it takes you from one street to another street to another street. Now, everybody loves a mystery and everybody loves a theory, let's be fair. But we're going to look at what Eileen's saying at the moment. The theory about a party, Eileen. Now, that's a really good one, in fact, because it is speculated that she did attend a party the night or 2 nights before she disappeared, and the speculation is it was her going away party. So that's an interesting one, Eileen. Again, there is no proof of that because the police didn't interview MD about that. They didn't interview MD at the party. They never asked for any names, etc. So again, we'll never know. You have to, the one about small town sheriff covering up and others complying. This is an interesting one because to me, it's the most plausible. It is the most plausible to me. I can't understand why there is 2 accounts. One account is given that there is only 1 police car on scene, and that police car arrived 9 minutes after the crash. Yet, if we go back and think about what witness A saw, which was that witness A saw a white SUV car parked nose to nose with Maura. Not a police car, a white SUV. Don't understand that one at all. There was only supposed to be 1 policeman on that night. So how can we have 1 car at 1 point and what they say reporting the SUV nose to nose? Okay. The booze does suggest a party, Eileen. Totally agree with you on that one. But here's another point. Could you have just been getting away? I mean, if you're going to park and go away, that's what you would do. Just throw everything together, some alcohol, and just leave. Aye, of course you would. It's a logical thing. But was she drinking and driving? There's the other part of that. Someone tells me she was. I don't know why, but she was. Especially because of the amount of alcohol found in the car and outside the car as well. So, yeah. Now, it's like I say, everybody has a theory on this one, right? And there's so many theories in this one, right? I'm just going to say what I think, and whether you agree or no, that's absolutely fine with me. But let's look at theory one. People actually do choose to leave voluntarily. Let's be fair. They get sick of their life, they get sick of people in their life, and they just say, I've had enough, and go. Yes, she did make a lot of mistakes. Yes, her relationship was in the rocks, we think, based solely on the fact that the email was found on top of the box in the dorms, which not only indicated that her relationship with Bill was going through a tough time. Again, we don't know if this is true. Bill was never interviewed. There is another theory that she wandered off after the crash. She wandered into the forest. She succumbed to the elements and possibly died of hypothermia. If that's the case, then why was her scent not picked up by the cadaver dogs and into this forest? It doesn't. It literally stops a couple of yards down that road. That one, I think that's still up, is it not? Aye, it was still up. So our scent was actually picked up a couple of yards down that road. There.
Was it on the road or
on the road.
in the forest?
No, on the road. Okay. So that's a strange one, because to me, if your scent just stops, disappears, it's either like you've been sucked off to infinity or somebody's picked you up. Exactly, Eileen. Exactly. Now, the other theory is that someone was driving with her in tandem. Okay? Someone that she trusts followed her in a car behind her. Now, just because we've got CCTV of just Maura, that indicates nothing. Somebody could have followed her. Somebody that she trusted could have followed her. This crash could have been premeditated. It's all a cover-up. And who she trusted most stopped after the crash, waited till there was no eyes around, and simply Maura just hopped in and off she went. Start a new life. We don't know where, but that's the other theory. Now, the third theory is she was a victim of foul play. Now, I don't like to think like that, and it is unlikely in an area as remote as this. But maybe that's what we're supposed to think. The area is so remote, the chances of it being foul play are pretty low. So is that what we're supposed to think? I don't know. Again, there's no evidence to this. Now, number 5 is, was this a police cover-up? Was Cecil Smith involved? Are the police covering up one of their own? The police are quiet in this case. They don't actually speculate much about it. Do they have more information than they're letting on? Well, probably. I think they probably do. But again, is this because they can't release it because it's an ongoing case? Is it because that they know information that only the killer would know? We don't know. they're not releasing anything at all, and they have only, to my knowledge, done one, possibly two interviews, one with James Rayner, and I think the other one was with a journalist, a female journalist, and I can't get her name. Craig can maybe help me if he's on. And the last theory that I've got is that she actually left and went to Canada. She'd spoke about this previously to people. She wanted to start a new life, and Canada seemed to be her favourite. Now, I like this theory, but I find it very difficult to comprehend in my mind, because, as we well know, we know that she only lifted $280 cash. That's all she had to her name. To start a new life, it would take a heck of a lot of planning, a lot of paperwork, a lot of hiding. And what we also need to remember here, and it's a difficult one, is that Maura's mother actually died in 2009. I think it would have been extremely difficult for Maura to stay away from her mother's funeral. I really do. Now, there was a claim that Maura was seen in Canada. This has never been validated at all till now. Now, these are only my theories, guys, and I've explored this back, front, upside down, back to front, you name it. I've had a slight obsession on this case for about a year now, to be fair. So much so that I've got my own wee file on my own computer about it. I've nipped Scott and Sarah's head about it for years. I've nipped my husband's head about it. I think now that he actually probably knows the story off by heart as well. I don't know. I'm still at a loss after this. It's a mystery I cannot solve. It takes so many twists, and every theory you come up with, you can say, aye, that works. But then you find no, actually that didn't work. So please tell me if you've got any other theories that you think would fall into this category, because I'm pretty stumped, to be honest.
They're missing the mother's funeral, but I can understand it, because if she's went to that much trouble, if she did plan it on, what have you, and she was in Canada, or is in Canada, whatever, she would know that with her turning up, she would know that the police are looking for her, friends, other family are probably looking for her, etc. So for her just to pop up at her mother's funeral, then everything she'd done would have been a waste of time, and it would have ruined her new life in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The bus driver, this is before the SUV showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So he offered to phone AAA and the police, but she said no.
She did.
So there's two theories. One, which I've been saying, it does sound like she was arranging some kind of
assassination. Assignation.
What does that mean?
Just keep going, you'll understand. Like escape.
All right. Yeah, she was planning buggering off.
Aye, basically.
Well, I'm going to take advantage of it. See, that's a good theory, but I was going to say, the bus driver,
pardon me, sorry guys.
The bus driver offered to phone for help.
He did.
Now, she was a lone female at night time, the middle of nowhere.
Right.
If, to me, how do you put it, if she was either drunk and didn't want to, because she knew if the police would turned up, she'd be charged with a DUI, and maybe that's why she says, no, everything's fine, and she was kind of disorientated confused, drunk, shocked at having the crash, and she has wandered off into the woods.
Yep.
Another thing is that she's a lone female, that time of night, middle of nowhere, pitch black, you've got somebody, even though it's a guy, offering to help you, and she refuses the help. Now, would she have refused that help because she knew help was coming?
Yeah.
And that maybe the crash wasn't planned, maybe the crash was an actual accident, but she knew help was coming. She panicked, and that's why she just grabbed her cards and her phone, because she knew that the police would be on their way, within minutes probably. So she just grabbed these things and get picked up, and that's why she didn't want any help. Because any lone female at night time, if you're in a car crash and somebody pulls up and says, I'll phone the RAC or I'll phone the police for you, very, very likely to say, if you could, please, that'd be great. Yeah. But she refused it. So what was that? Because she knew help was just about to come along the road. That's the thing that gets me. Why did she refuse the help? And to me, she was either drunk and didn't want, a charge, or she knew somebody was just coming to get her.
The other thing is, why did she lie to someone that stayed in that area? Now, Butch Atwood clearly knew there was no self-service in that area, because he lives there, so he knew there was no self-service. He knew Maura was lying. Why was Maura lying? We don't know. Because
she knew. I mean, you'll see it. Hey, Hattie.
Possibly.
But I mean, we've seen it in films and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Folk say, do you want me to phone Mr. B? They say, no, I've phoned them already, it's fine. When they hardly phoned them. So maybe that's the case. She was telling this guy, she wasn't familiar with the area. She didn't know there was no self-service. And she's told you, no, I've already done it. I phoned them, they're on their way. Thinking, right, this guy's just going to say, right, that's fine, I'm going home, end of night.
But he doesn't. He actually goes home and he actually phones Grantham police.
So maybe that's why she said it, because she didn't count on him getting home and actually phoning the police.
But then you've got the other part of it, which was that Butch Atwood did retract his statements to the police many times. Why? Was he, like I said, was he just confused? Was he just an unreliable witness? We don't know.
But
why
then
change your statement?
The white SUV part and the reluctance of the police to carry out a proper investigation, that does suggest that they're protecting somebody.
Absolutely. Now, the police didn't carry out a proper investigation in this, okay, guys? There's so many things I could have put into, honestly, but it's like opening a can of worms. You open one can of worms and you've got 30, right? So I had to try and keep it basic to the basic points, right? Now, they didn't do a thorough investigation at all, okay? The police, the Maura's car was actually towed, I think it was in 2 hours, to the garage. There was no forensic testing done. There was no TNA testing done. Nothing at all was done in that car. Why not? These are logical things. Was it just an absolute negligence? Was it just absolute negligence from the police? Were they not equipped enough to deal with such an accident? Again, we don't know, because the police don't speak about this.
I mean, I think it was, if you look at the picture of that car, I think it was a genuine accident. Because if you are, if you're, one, the Americans drive on the other side of the road. So that's a left-hand drive car. So the point of impact was on the other side of the road to which she would have been driving on. So if you're planning to crash your car, to create this illusion, you're going to do it in the safest way possible. So to me, you would go into a tree on your side of the road where the impact would be less severe and there'd be less chance of you getting hurt. But you can see with that car, that was on the other side of the road.
But is it possible that the white SUV won her off the road and she backed into the tree? well, crashed into the tree, sorry, not backed in, crashed into the tree.
But then you got to ask yourself the question, why would he run her off the road?
Because he'd been drinking. They had both been drinking.
Did he cause the accident?
Exactly.
Aye, that's a possibility.
Did he cause the accident? No, her. She did. He did. He caused the accident.
Did they ever find tyre marks or anything on the road?
No, nothing.
Skid marks or anything that
Nothing.
would suggest that?
Nothing. There was no investigation done at all. That's what I'm telling you. Now, the cadaver dogs, and they obviously did a scout round, as I explained earlier. They did 100 metres round the area, the crash site. But they could have searched further because John Manahan was not a local guy. He could have searched out within that 100 metres, but he did not do that. We do not know why he did not choose to do that, but he had jurisdiction to do that and he did not do it. Why did he not do it? There was a chance that Mora might have been found that night had he chose to do that, but he chose not to do it. And we'll never know why.
I mean, one of the things you look at first is when a car crashes, you know, especially under race circumstances, one of the things that they look at is tyre marks. They look for tyre marks on the road. So if there wasn't any tyre marks on that road, it means that she's just drove straight off that road and into a tree, whatever it was she hit. She never braked or anything. So does she maybe drive straight off the road because she was drunk?
Or was she forced?
But then if you're forced off the road, your natural reaction is to hit your brakes. You're
saying natural, but we're gone in the assumption that she's drunk.
And if she was forced off the road, there would be skid marks all over the road because she travelled right, you know, from one side to the other. But so there would be some kind of skid marks, some kind of tyre marks. I hate saying skid marks. Tyre marks.
Well, in that aspect as well, you would expect there to be footprints. There was not. Thank you. I agree with that one. I think it has something to do with Cecil Smith, and I think it's something to do with Chief Williams. What? I don't know. But I think that one of them saw something and they're covering up for the other. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. You know, where that particular crash site is, there's literally 3 houses that overlook that scene. And there was an interview I actually watched, a podcast, and they actually reenacted the crash. They showed where these houses were, and they showed what way they presumed Mora would walk, and that was east. Now, to walk, if we're walking east, surely there would be footprints on the ground. There wasn't. There was no footprints on the ground. The same as there was no tyre treads, nothing. It's like the whole scene had been, well, we'll say washed away or covered up.
Cleaned.
Yeah, pretty much by natural elements, and we'll say natural elements. Now, the other thing, there was the theory that she wandered into the forest, right? Aye, this is a logical one. Forest is huge. She could have got a lot further than what we realised. Let's be fair. It might have not been the right cadaver dogs. There is different types of cadaver dogs that are brought in to do different things, right? So could have been the wrong cadaver dog. It really could have been. It could have been something simple like that. And what Mora did wander further, and she did succumb to the elements. Now, this is a logical one because at the end of the day, you walk through a forest. How many dead animals do you see? Not very many. Pretty much because they decompose pretty quickly, or other animals get them.
The other thing is, I'm not meant to be talking on this actually, but however.
No, you're
the other thing is that bus driver claimed that she just vanished. He didn't see what direction she went, which I find really weird.
Yeah.
that he didn't know she went that way or that way.
Yeah.
But if she was picked up down that road, that would suggest that she walked along that road. So to me, and this is a bad theory, my thoughts, the bus driver would have seen her walking along that road.
Yeah. And the fact that there was three houses that overlooked the crash site, okay? So you're talking at least, what, say, each house, husband and wife, right? So you're talking at least 6 sets of eyes on that scene. Not all at one time, clearly. But in different times. Surely it's somebody would have saw something.
But the only way they wouldn't have seen her is if she did. Because if you look at that picture, the forest is bang right next to the road. So to me, the only way nobody would have seen her is if she headed off into the forest.
Yep.
Because she would just instantly vanish.
Absolutely. And as you can go back to the crash site, that one.
That's one I was on.
I will have seen that one, right? Now you can see the forest to the left. It's a tiny wee bit, but actually this forest is really thick and dense and it's on both sides. So she could have just disappeared. It's easily done. Easily done. Who's to say that we're going by the assumption here that she didn't know this area? She might have. She might have travelled up here before. Was this possibly a particular site that she'd previously arranged to be picked up? Who knows? Who knows?
Or was taken by
road. That's another good theory, Eileen, because the cadaver dogs actually stopped in the middle of the road as if she simply vanished. So that tells me that she got into a car of some sort at some point. She just disappeared up into the air or into the ground. It seems to me like she was picked up by someone she knew. We don't know. By someone she didn't know. Again, don't know.
Every theory makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. Every theory that I've come up with is extremely plausible. But there's holes in them. There is holes in every single one of them. So
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think you need Columbo in the case.
Absolutely, it's not to this date. It's still unsolved, guys. James Rayner, the author, actually wrote a book called True Crime Addict. Now he gives his account on the Montgomery, the disappearance of Montgomery, and he comes up with loads and loads of different theories, right? I didn't want to go into James Rayner. It's very complicated and it can throw you off path. But if you are interested, look up James Rayner, True Crime Addict. Eileen, if you want a copy, I'll happily send you mine, no bother, because you're a friend. So you get
no charger.
So you get prestigious cover here. So I'll happily send that to you. I can see that. But it's a very fascinating case. Loads of twists and turns. Loads of podcasts on it, guys. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. It's all there. And like I said, there's loads of books, especially the specific one to James Rayner, True Crime Addict. It's a fantastic book. It gives you the story of Montgomery, and it also gives you James Rayner's theories. And he has interviewed family members. He has interviewed the police. So it is worth a read, guys, if you are interested in the disappearance of Montgomery. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope you have too, to be honest. This is a passion of mine. I love mysteries. I spend my life watching them, reading about them, and writing about them. But honestly, thanks for joining me, and I really appreciate Scott and Sarah's confidence in me today. That's because I really did not think
I'd say authorization.
Didn't think I'd be able to do it. Now I did have notes at the right hand side of my screen. Can I just point out? Didn't look at them, guys. I'm quite proud of myself. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll hand you back to Scott.
It's no me. It's no me, honest. My name is really Eileen. Eileen's no Maura Murray. So it was really interesting. I'll take this away. No, hold on. Sarah showed me how to do the techie bit. You know. Aye, so big thanks to Laura for doing. I mean, she has worked hard on, as I said last night, the night before. She has put a lot of, I was going to say man hours, women hours into it. I don't say man hours.
Man hours is good.
She has put a lot of work into it.
You're welcome, Eileen.
And it is an interesting story. I mean, I watch a lot of these, you know, these crime documentaries and stuff, and I started watching this last night, and I gave up after 13 minutes. I just turned it off because it was just bang, 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 bang. I thought, do you know what? I don't have the brains or the time or the patience for all that kind of thing. I gave up on it.
Hi, Mel. Thanks, honey.
I kept it in lowercase. It was brilliant, so interesting. You worked hard on this.
Jessica Fletcher, I'm not that good.
Well, that's Mel just joining.
Oh no, she fell asleep. Sorry, I'll see you when I go on.
But it definitely is. It's one to look up if you've got the time and patience to sit and get through it, because there's that many branches on this tree.
Yeah.
You know, and so a big thanks to Laura. She did do really well because we authorised her to come on. Say it.
Hi, okay. What he said.
No, say it.
He authorised me to come in.
No, your stupid voice, your normal voice.
You authorised this to happen. There you go.
Jeez Louise, you are going probably got, do you know what I mean? My thumb just disappeared, the thumbless man. Well, we're going to wind up there, folks. So again, thanks to everybody for coming in and sticking in your comments. Thanks to this team beside me for taking the time and effort to put it together and do it tonight. You actually did this. I think this is your first podcast, is it not?
Yes.
Well, I'm right beside you, but
it's
you
just
didn't
all by myself, really.
So you know, she did really, really well. And there will be. When's the next one?
The next one, I think, will be in a couple of weeks, and I'll give you a clue to it. Right. So you can look this up if you want. It happened in America, and it involves 5 young men, and that's all I'm going to give. Oh, and Sarah is joining me on this one. So.
The ladies, no, she's not. Well, she can be a bit ditty at times, you know.
I'm no stupid.
But she has got a brain when she chooses to use it. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're going to wind up. Anything you want to add?
No, just thanks everybody. It's been a blast. And I hope to see you on the next one. Okay? Thanks very much. Excellent. And we'll see you all later.
We're back on Thursday. Well, I'm back on Thursday night with Sam Walks a Lot. Sam's coming back in to tell us about our latest walks, and then we're live on Sunday with our wee buddy Charlie and Rocks for Midnight Paranormal. So we'll see you all on Thursday. All right, folks, so take care, enjoy the rest of your evening, and that's it. Bye.
Bye.